Hello everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Confessions of a Low Limit Professional Poker Dealer. And in today's episode, I'm going to tell you about the time I dealt to a very famous actor. And guess what? He was super nice. Stay tuned. So even though I work in a small poker room, I've had the pleasure of dealing to a lot of celebrities that has frequented our poker room during the 12 years that I worked at the poker room that I work in now. I have dealt to World Series of Poker main event winners, Chris Moneymaker. I have dealt to UFC fighters, Ken Shamrock. I have dealt to people who have 15 minutes of fame, William Hung of American Idol fame, and this couple that won The Amazing Race, I think it was season 7 or something. It was like a young couple. I can't remember the name. And I've also dealt to critically acclaimed actors. Don Cheadle. I've actually dealt to Don Cheadle. Favorite celebrity story is a time I dealt to Jason Alexander. Those of you who don't know who Jason Alexander is, he was in the cast of a very famous, popular sitcom in the 90s called Seinfeld. He played a character named George Costanza. Now it's funny because I don't know, I've never watched Seinfeld in my life, so I don't know nothing about it. But I heard he was like this eccentric character. I don't really know, but I know he's very famous. And I remember one weekend he was staying in our poker room because he was staying in our hotel, and he was doing some charity event in the casino. And for 2 days he was there Friday and Saturday, and during his breaks, he would have a chunk of breaks during the charity event. I think it was like 4 or 5 hours where he would have a break. And what did he do? He would come down to our poker room and play our tournaments and play our cash games. Now I knew he was a big avid poker player because I actually seen him on TV at the World Series of Poker. I seen him playing those TV celebrity poker tournaments. I knew he was a fan of poker. So when he came down, I remember he wore a hat. Kind of hat, and he went right to the floor. Goes, I just want to play poker. You know, I have 4 hours to play. What can I do? And we had tournaments at the time, so he played our tournaments on Friday, and he played on Saturday. And I don't think he cashed in, but I think he had a lot of fun because this is the one thing I noticed about him. I dealt to him on Friday in the tournament, and I noticed he was kind of quiet. But then as everything went on, as the day went on, and as the tournament went on, he felt more comfortable because I think the fact that nobody really bothered him while he was playing, like nobody came up to ask for his autograph, nobody came up to him to ask for his picture, and nobody came up to him to say, hey, what's going on? You know, I'm a big fan of yours. No, don't get me wrong. Everyone knew who he was, and everyone like say, hey, hello, nice to meet you, Mr. Alexander. I'm a big fan, but nobody was like a fanboy, fangirl, would just made him feel uncomfortable. So I think the fact that he got very comfortable right away was the reason why he kind of let his guard down a little bit and was like, he started interacting with all the players. He interacted with the dealers. I know I talked to him a little bit while I was dealing to him, and he was a super nice guy to all of us, the floors, the dealers, and the players. So he played on Friday, and then he came back on Saturday and came back and played again in our room. He played another tournament, and then he busted out of that tournament. Then he jumped into our cash game, and this is where the story begins with me. I remember during the time we had a promotion. It was a high hand promotion where if you get a certain hand, you get each high hand was assigned money. Like if you get quad 9s, you get 50. If you get quad 10s, you get 150. You get a straight flush, 7 high straight flush, you get like 300, something like that. Anyways, I dealt to him, and he actually got a high hand. It was quad aces, and it was like a $200 high hand. And he was generally happy to win that high hand. I know what you're thinking, you know, he's a major celebrity, probably a millionaire 10 times over. Why would he be happy with a $200 high hand? Well, I think it's the fact that we, in our poker room, and me as a dealer, we made him feel very, very comfortable in that environment. I know a lot of people could have, a lot of dealers and players could have, I mean, a lot of dealers in the floor could have been like, oh, we'll do anything for Mr. Alexander. Well, you know, I'm a big fan, blah, blah, blah. We'll give you special, preferential treatment because you're a major celebrity. But we didn't do that. We just let him be Jason Alexander, the poker player, Jason Alexander, the man that just wants to come down and spend a couple hours playing poker with a bunch of people he's never heard of before. And I think that's what made him very, very comfortable in our room. And as a poker dealer, you have to, you know, enhance that experience. Like I've always said in previous, you have to enhance that experience of the tourist, of that player, to make them feel very, very comfortable in the room that you're playing in, because you are a beacon to that casino. So as a poker dealer, you have to, you know, give the image of your poker room in the light where the players are comfortable. Now back to the story of the quads. It was $200 high hand. He was happy, and he pushed the button. He actually had to sign some paper because we had some paper he had to sign for it. So I thought that was kind of cool. But then he actually tipped me 10%. So he gave me $20 on that high hand, and I was so happy. I remember during the break, I actually called my wife and told, hey, guess who I dealt to? And guess what happened? I pushed him a high hand, and he tipped me 20 bucks. I couldn't believe it's freaking Jason Alexander. He tipped me. It's unbelievable. So that is my favorite celebrity dealing story of the 12 years I've been dealing poker. I hope you enjoyed that story. And you know, it was a really fun day at the office. It's one of my favorite dealing days I've ever had in this industry. It was just, you know, it was fun. It was just fun to make this guy, this major celebrity, feel very, very comfortable. That's my anecdote for this week. Hope you guys enjoy that. Come back next week for another video of Confessions of a Low-Limit Professional Poker Dealer. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. And once again, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and get the word out. You know, I'm just a guy that's giving you the other side of the table from a dealer's perspective. Thanks for watching.